Madam Speaker, as little as we are, Jamaica has the highest homicide rate among 22 Latin American and Caribbean countries. Our extreme reality necessitates that the legislative framework governing mandatory minimum sentences for murder surpass the average threshold used in other jurisdictions. These legislative amendments, Madam Speaker, will aid in the fight against the country's soaring crime rate by ensuring that the applicable penalty matches the severity of the crime. It is a matter that is of concern not only to Jamaicans living here, Madam Speaker, but as I go across the country and I meet with returning residents and persons who have families living overseas, they intimate that if we could get violent crime, especially murders, under control, we would not have enough space for the returning residents coming back to this country. Madam Speaker, there are hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans waiting, willing, eager to return to Jamaica. But the murder rate, the violent crime, the indiscipline and other, Madam Speaker, have caused many Jamaicans to be playing a wait and see.
On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype, we make it take flight.
Yeah, man, my viewers and subscribers, what Goin, a blessed and wonderful Thursday morning to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. Now, my peeps, I don't know how we do it over on this side each and every morning. We have to give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator for the preservation of life, because life is indeed the greatest. So in the morning, my peeps, I have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog, so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we are going in Jamaica. So we're going to kick it off this morning with another round of decent spot of work put on by the country's security forces. Now the police are reporting that the seizure of a large quantity of assorted rounds of ammunition in the back road section of Highlight View in Papin St. Andrew. The reports also stated that no one was arrested in connection with the seizure. The police is saying that a team conducted a targeted raid on Monday morning and discovered 99.222 Remington rifle cartridges, a 5.56 magazine, and a Smith & Wesson 9mm magazine. The police stated that the items were found in a bag in an old refrigerator. So most definitely right there, so we have to give thanks. Say them rounds there definitely taken off the streets. At least it may have saved a few lives. So over there in the St. Catherine South Police Division, the police are reporting the seizure of 50 rounds of ammunition during an operation on Hartfield Avenue in Waterford, Portmore, St. Catherine. All of this took place on Tuesday. The police is reporting that a cache of ammunition was found on a football field during a search of the area. No one was arrested in connection with that find. So on your screen is the rounds and the magazine that was recovered by the Squady them. Yeah, man. So that voice clip that was played just before the On The Spot News Media intro was that of the Justice Minister, Delroy Chuck. He says the Andrew Holness-led administration is determined to introduce tough new legislation this fiscal year targeting criminals and gang leaders wreaking havoc on our society. So he was speaking in Parliament on Tuesday. Mr. Chuck argued that the current level of crime threatens national security and cannot be allowed to continue. Now, the present level of crime, where we see are going right now, crime right across the board, corruption, financial crime, gun-related crime, all of the crime them what we see are commit right across the board, is not a yesterday something. So we cannot expect a today type of fix either, because the ones them need for understanding that it took Jamaica pretty much 60-70 years to come to this. We narrow down to this over a 60-70 year period. So it now got take a overnight, a 1 week, a 2 month, a 1 year period to fix it. Because we have to realize that it is easier to break down something than to build it up. If you build a building versus you tearing it down, trust me, quick and fast it tear down, but it's going to take a minute for you to build it up. So at the same thing in our society right now, and we need to understand that. So what politicians really need to do, and not just politicians, but Jamaica, as in everyone, collectively need to do, is start take responsibility for his or her own actions, because everybody is quick to point fingers, but nobody no want take responsibility for their own actions. I've seen where corruption is high on our agenda and why you think the society is so corrupt. Many people point fingers on the politicians and point fingers on the police as being corrupt. But the entire society of Jamaica is corrupt if we wish to be honest about it. Because you can pay a food and go to tax office and get a thing sorted out quick and fast. A corruption that right there, so you can go over the examination depot right there, so and pay a piece of food and get a car fitness sorted out. A corruption that right there, so you can give Squady a piece of food and him no bother give you a ticket, him just give you blind at the streets because you pay your way through. A corruption right there, so yeah man. So corruption there everywhere right across Jamaican society, because we are off that hustling mentality, and we know sister boy when we are hustle is corruption that right there. So why you think the whole country is so corrupted in all public sector entities, customs, immigration, you name it, corruption, dead. Why do you think it is like that? Because Jamaica itself is a cesspool of corruption. Let me paint this scenario for you right now. Let's just say a pool of dirty water represents Jamaica. Now we want a cup to pour into the Jamaica Constabulary Force. So we go into that pool of dirty water with that cup and pour it into the Jamaica Constabulary Force. What you expect I go pour in there? Corruption, because it comes from a corrupt society. We use the same cup and pour into the political arena. What you expect to get? Corruption, because we take the water from the pool of dirtiness. I saw the thing said. Any entity at all where we are going to pour water into from that pool of dirty water, we cannot expect anything other than corruption. So instead of pointing fingers at whichever entity and saying that they are corrupt, we need to point fingers at ourselves, because all of us are members of that pool of dirty water. So if each and every person takes responsibility for his or her own actions, that will clean up society, and then when time that pool of dirty water cleanse and become clean, when you dip the cup in there now, if you pour into all these government entities, you will get clean personnels be placed in those entities. Hence, you will get rid of corruption. So blame yourself collectively as a society, because we are corrupt as a society. Hence the reason why these entities are also corrupt. Drop some comments and tell me what you think. So the last thing that we are going to talk about now, we are going to expound a bit on that knockings and clappings that took place over there in Union Gardens in the St. Andrews South Police Division. So the St. Andrews South Police are saying that gang members carried out Tuesday evening's deadly attack at a car wash in Union Gardens. And the police is also stating that 2 persons get caught up in that incident, to include a police officer. The civilian was taken out in that hail of bullets and is no longer among the land of the living. Now on the Spot News Media will give you his insight on that brazen knockings and clappings. But first, I can hear the police updates as it relates to that brutal slaying of the car wash operator. So the police is saying that the car wash operator has since been identified as this man presently on your screen, 36-year-old Dwight McFarlene, otherwise known as Greybeard. He's of a Daffodil Avenue address in the area. He was taken out in a hail of bullets during that brazen attack. The police believe that he was the target. So it is reported that sometime about 7:20 p.m. the police sergeant and Mr. McFarlane was inside the car wash when men alighted from the vehicle and opened fire, hitting the two of them. Mr. McFarlane died in the hospital. The sergeant received wounds to the abdomen and leg. He is said to be in stable condition. So we're going to hear from Senior Superintendent of Police, who is also in charge of the St. Andrews South Police Division, as he weighs in on the condition of the sergeant attached to his police division. Listen.
The sergeant received gunshot injuries to his abdomen and leg. He remains in the hospital at this time, and the doctors have listed his condition as stable. This incident, it's still early days, but we believe that the attack was carried out by gang members, and the business operator would have been the target. At this time, we have some strong leads pointing to at least two individuals that we are looking for, persons who we believe to have been involved in this crime.
So my peeps, on your screen is the 36-year-old man who is now deceased, known as Dwight McFarlane, otherwise known as Greybeard. Well, on the Spot News Media, get to understand, say, this is not his first rodeo being shot at, as one of the man who is said to be the killer, the Nakis and Clappis, in that brazen gun attack Tuesday evening, had done so in previous times. So information reaching on the Spot News Media is that 3 persons was on that knockings and clappings rampage. And the Nakis and Clappis, the trigger man in that brutal attack, had a previous altercation with the now deceased man the said morning of the incident. It is said that he was threatened by that man, stating that he might go get it soon and very soon. And by nightfall, he carried out his threat. Now the man in question is said to be identified in the community as Michael. Now, Michael and another youth who is of an Indian descent carried out that brazen knockings and clappings. The person who is of the Indian descent is known in the community as Papa. Now, it is said that when the car rolled up, they saw that the policeman was there. So what they did was can up the Squady first, because them know say Squady a go pop off him chops and clap it pan them. So they make sure them get the Squady down and out, and they carried out their brutal slaying of the 36-year-old car wash owner Dwight McFarlane. Now I'm not for sure what went on in previous times as to why these two had a fallout, and the personality overall of Dwight McFarlane, and what is his association with these men who came and took his life. But one thing for sure, a sergeant of police was hit in that brazen knockings and clappings. And the good thing is, Squady is alive, and Squady saw exactly what happened. So you, Mr. Nakis and Clappis, anywhere you're there, the Squady them are going to find you, and I hope them can you. Yeah, man. Because anytime you have dirty criminal element, bright and brazen enough for knock it and clap it on a member of the Jamaica Defence Force or a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, that is definitely cause for concern. So Michael and Papa, we know say I wanna do the dirt. And we also get to understand that you have other affiliations over there in the Kingston Western Police Division. So the police is at you. And trust me, anytime Officer Yeman pick and team, hold you, them a go can you. Yeah, man. Because I'm pretty sure you are now considered armed and dangerous. And you go walk with your straps straight because you're big, bad, and brave. And anytime Officer Yeman pick and team come at you, you go put up a resistance. And as the good Beres Aman would have says, putting up a resistance, now Squady got to take you out. Yeah, man. So all these would-be criminals out there will feel say you're too big and bad. Look on the notorious Preke boy. Look on the notorious bigger crime. And that is just to name a few. And those two criminal elements is way out of the league of you, Michael, and Papa. So if the security forces can find them and can them, what you think gonna happen to you? You feel say it gonna work out any difference? Is either 40 years to life or 6 feet under. That is the only two roads before you. So pick your choice. Yeah, man. So anyway, my peeps, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in a subsequent newscast. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.